What's your way? Want a different colour? Then customise it. Need a different size? Then customise it. Love a different leg? Then customise it. Lounge suites, bedroom suites, tables, chairs. Domain can customise a great range in-store now. Get creative. Get what you really want. Customise your furniture at Domain, Scarborough Beach Road, Osborne Park and City West Centre, West Perth.
This is where Perth talks at night with Chris Ilsley on Perth Tonight.
Time to catch up with Ben Aylett from benaylett.com. 1L, 2 T's in Aylett.
That's right.
As always, mates, welcome along.
Thanks very much for having me, Chris, yet again.
Mate, we have to start with this. My health record.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, according to an audit, it has failed to manage cybersecurity and privacy risks.
Yep.
It's a $1.5 billion system, and according to the National Audit Office, it did not provide appropriate protections.
Yeah.
It's one of these times when we almost want to say, not in a skiting kind of way, I told you so. The reason we said it was, I think, out of inevitability.
Yep.
Rather than any sort of pious I'm right, you're not kind of thing.
Yeah. Look, this is just over a year to the day where we saw the privacy chief for My Health Record quit because the powers that be were not listening to her. And I'm actually surprised they've managed to go this long without things going pear-shaped because when your privacy chief quits, obviously that's some sort of a red flag going up that something is wrong.
Well, either he's excessively paranoid or perhaps onto something. I'm more inclined to go with the latter than the former.
Absolutely, yeah. So, unfortunately, she quit, and now we're left with this mess. Now, the big
She was quite vocal about it. As I recall, she went out the door screaming and yelling. It wasn't one of those, oh, we've just had a quiet difference of opinion, I'm just going to shuffle out the door sideways, nobody's going to notice.
Yep.
She went out saying, there are concerns here, people, please pay attention.
Yep. And look, thankfully, we had a chance to opt out. Now, even though there was a chance to opt out, we've still got around about 80 to 90% of the Australian population a part of this massive database.
Is that right? 92211882. Jump on the phone, join us. Love to know if you opted out or you remained in My Health Record. And I'd like to know, and by the way, this isn't a right or wrong answer.
No.
What I'd like to know, what were your reasons for opting out or opting in?
Yeah.
Now, of course, there may be many sound reasons. I've always had my biggest issue, and the reason why I opted out was because I simply don't trust them with security. The concept and the idea behind it, I think, is actually very, very sound.
Yes.
The problem always was the fact that the people responsible kind of didn't really get the security.
Yeah.
And that was always a big concern. I have to be honest, MyGov did not inspire me to believe that they'd learned something. The census debacle did not inspire me to realise that they'd learned something. And the other thing is, bearing in mind the people who required the information, it never made sense to me that it was available online via the internet. I always thought this could have been done by a closed wide area network. In my view, the obvious way to use this would have been the interlinking through Medicare.
Yes.
So doctors, hospitals, they would have had a private link, a bit like the bank's automatic teller machines.
Yes.
You can't log into a bank's automatic teller machine. It's part of a private network, interconnected with everything it needs to be interconnected with, but you can't connect to it from the internet.
Yes.
To me, the vulnerability was the internet. And I could not see any reason why you would need to access it on the internet.
Yeah, now that is definitely a part of the concern that we've had in the past, like the way it's been implemented. And yes, the technology probably wasn't executed as well as it should have been. But one of the glaring problems they found as a part of this audit is there was really no control over what we call third-party risks. So these third-party risks, they apply to people who are not actually directly involved with the My Health Record system, but they use it and they're like an outside party. So this could be suppliers, it could be medical professionals, it could be people who have that can get hands on the system, but they're not actually a part of the system, if you know what I mean. So,
which makes you wonder why they would have to have hands on the system and what the justification would be.
As a part of their work. So this could be people like as a part of a medical practitioner or some sort of a clinic. So they have access. And another thing that was shown was there's this mechanism for emergency access. So when it's a life-threatening or a very serious case where they need to get a handle on these records, they can actually invoke this emergency access mechanism, and it will actually give them access to those medical records without any further checks. So I can appreciate how that worked, and even though they were monitoring these emergency access requests, they weren't really following it up just to verify after the fact, just so they can make changes as needed. So it's unfortunately the cybersecurity and risk management and dealing with changes, or dealing with having to implement changes, is moving way faster than bureaucracy can. So it's a glaring case of the technology moving faster than laws can keep up.
Well, that's always the case, and that's always been the problem.
Yes.
I think one of the issues that we had, certainly with the whole My Health record, is, like you say, some sort of emergency system whereby you can access it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There is a term that people like yourself have for that. It's called a vulnerability.
Absolutely, yes. And
so you say that's an emergency access. People like Ben say, no, that's a vulnerability. That's where they'll attack it. It's a bit like the case of Apple v. the FBI.
Yes.
The FBI wanted Apple to create a backdoor system so they could access a terrorist's iPhone. And, of course, Apple's argument, and they were right, the moment we create this backdoor, what we're doing is creating a vulnerability which other people can exploit for nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
And the principle remains the same. You say, well, I've got to have this backdoor because it's essential.
Yeah.
Well, it may well be essential, but what are the consequences and what are the downsides of it? And they have to be factored in.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing, though. So even though they are similar and they sound similar on the surface, the actual implementation and the management between the two cases are actually quite different. And it's always a moving target. So I would have liked to have seen My Health record executed properly, but this takes money, it takes time, it takes resources. And I don't think that the government, when they approach projects, they're trying to put the dollar value, and they're sort of weighing it up against the business case. So there's always that struggle between the budget and the outcomes.
But they've already got the infrastructure in place via things like the Medicare network. Well, to me, that's the obvious. All medical facilities are interlinked via the Medicare network. So if that was used, because let's be honest, there is no reason for you and I to jump on the internet and access our medical records. No. If we want our medical records, we can ask for them. The vulnerability here to me was always it being on the internet. And the problem also being it being on the internet, and the person who gets the job usually is the person who puts in the lowest tender. That's always going to be a problem, surely.
It is, yeah. Yeah, so when you try and set the bar to where everyone can access it, the bar is going to wind up to be quite low compared to the sort of standards that people expect. But
we never ask the question, do we need to access it? If you have cause to want your medical records, you can get them. The idea of My Health record was that if you went on a holiday, let's say, for example, to Queensland, and you found yourself in the unfortunate position where you were hospitalised, and they said, well, we want to be able to access your medical records. Well, to be able to do that in a closed wide area network from Queensland that allowed them to log into the WA Health Department's computers, that's vastly different, where you've got a secure link to a secure link to somebody jumping online and doing the same thing. Yep. There are lots of things online, as you would be well aware, that are quite vulnerable. And I think part of the problem is that there seems to be some aspects of government, some areas of government that really haven't quite got their heads around that. Yep. And if they're being given that information by people like yourself, they're not really listening.
No, they're not. So there are people out there who are willing to offer an opinion or some sort of guidance on how to best execute this sort of a project. And sure, the technology, yes, it could have been done differently. But from my point of view, it's more about the people with access to the system. It is a massive machine, so many moving parts, and a good 90% of those moving parts are actual people at keyboards doing their jobs day to day. That's a lot of people to put your trust in. All you need is one person to violate that trust, and the whole house of cards comes crashing down.
And that's where the problem starts.
Exactly. Yeah, so I can trust the system as long as it's not fiddled with by the people you can't trust, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And the point is you don't know how effective the system is at keeping the people you can't trust out of it. And also, what about the people within the system, even if they're only a handful, who in and of themselves can't be trusted as much as anything, because it might be that they really don't give a rat's about security. It's not something they consider. And I think going forward, that's always going to be a problem. 922 118 882. I'd like to know if you opted in or out of My Health Record. Now, whether you opted in or opted out doesn't matter. I'd like to know your reasoning behind it. 922 118 882. Of course, we're joined by Ben Aylett. BenAylett.com is the website. That's also where you'll find all of his contact information.
Do you have something happening in your community?
The local school fete, a community concert, a fundraising quiz night, or perhaps your sports club needs a helping hand.
Promote it on the 6PR Community Bulletin Board. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai.
No matter how big or small your event, make sure it's on the 6PR Community Bulletin Board, a free service for non-profit groups where you live.
Email details to community@6pr.com.au. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai. All day, every day, WA.
99 Bikes 99-hour sale. Black Friday deals start this Thursday. Up to half price off selected accessories, up to 30% off selected bikes, up to 40% off shoes and more. 99 hours only. 99bikes.com.au.
Honey, have you seen that thing in the bathroom with all the legs?
Oh, what is it? An itty-bitty spider?
Bigger
A cockroach?
and hairy.
Rat?
And it's making a strange buzzing noise.
You know what? Let's just call All Pest.
Warmer weather has arrived, and so have the pests. But for every pest problem, from ants and termites to roaches and bees, All Pest has the solution.
Tell them it's got wings!
See allpest.com.au.
WA's premium and award-winning apartment developer, Edge Visionary Living, brings you unrivaled luxury in a premium parkside location. Eden Floriat is where compromise has no place. Enjoy enviable resort-style living with a 25-metre pool, spa, gym, yoga studio, wine cellar, book retreat and more. With Eden West under construction, now is the time to reimagine your future. Find out more at edenfloriat.com.au.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're the Fisherman's Friends.
This year,
What kind of music were they singing?
The Rock and Roller 1752.
The unlikely true story of sea shanties climbing the charts comes to cinemas.
The bottom line is, you've got a unique sound, and we believe we can help you get it released by a major label.
What I don't understand is why anyone will buy a record sung by 10 hairy-ass fishermen.
Nobody wants to be the man who missed out on signing the Beatles.
Catch the feel-good British comedy of the year, Fisherman's Friends, in cinemas now.
Saturdays from 3 on 6PR. Join Aussie cricketing great Ian Chappell for The Cricket Show. Thanks to Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly. Call Gamblers Help on 1800 858 858. The Cricket Show. 3 p.m. Saturdays on 6PR.
This station endorses the Commercial Radio Code of Practice, which has been registered by the Australian Communications and Media Authority. Content on this station is regulated by the code. The code covers areas such as material not suitable for broadcast, news and current affairs, Australian music, live hosted entertainment, and the promotion of gambling during live sports. You can obtain a copy of the code by contacting this station or from the Commercial Radio Australia website, commercialradio.com.au.
Until midnight on 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
We are joined by Ben Aylett from BenAylett.com. That's where you'll find all of his contact information. 922 118 882. Having a chat about the My Health record.
Yes.
In light of an audit, which in some respects, I suppose, probably comes to no great surprise. Like you said, the Privacy Commissioner attached to this resigned.
Yes.
And according to the National Audit Office, the government agency in charge of the $1.5 billion system did not provide appropriate protections.
Exactly, yes.
That is what I would call unambiguous. It's very clear.
Oh, yes.
Glenn.
Good evening, young Christopher, and your assistant there.
Ben, by the way, got to ask you, were you in or out of My Health record?
I'm out.
You're out, okay.
Good on you.
And the reason being is, when it comes to electronic data and the internet, there is nothing secure. Absolutely nothing secure. And the reason being is, some time ago I had a problem with some moron that was chewing up my phone time, ringing on a regular basis. It was very annoying. So I ended up getting another SIM card and another phone, and within 2 weeks, that particular organisation had my details.
Yep.
So it wasn't like a hacker where it was going through random numbers and digits and all the rest of it. They knew my new number within less than 2 weeks of me having it. So I ended up getting rid of that phone.
Wow.
And then I went through another mechanism to make sure that they didn't contact me. But what I'm getting at, when it comes to electronic data, there's always some smart bastard out there that can work out the system and they can get it. And you look at it this way, Chris, in regards to your health records. Say somebody you get up somebody's nose and they really want to have a go at you. With the data that's available, they can go into a doctor. They don't have to prove any ID, and they might have some particular disease or this, that, and the other. And they found your Medicare card in a stolen wallet or whatever. They go in, they have all these tests done, and then it goes on your health record, and it's got nothing to do with you.
It's a very good point, Glenn.
Yeah.
All of that, of course, is one of the major problems that we have with this. But once again, it's something that they should think of. We have to have a system, and I actually don't have a problem with the system being interconnected. But the reason why I opted out is because it was online and it's vulnerable. That's a problem. And that is something that they should have considered. Bertie, were you in or were you out with my health record?
Out, and I'll tell you, it is the only issue that I've taken my GP to task with over the last 20-something years. He and I get on famously, except on my health record, and I told him it was rubbish because it was, as the fellow just speaking before me said, there are plenty of technological whizzes around the world who can break any safety system. And you see, I don't have sexually transmitted diseases, I think they're called STDs these days, and I don't have drugs. So, okay, that doesn't affect me personally, but I'm looking at it. That what's good for what one person should be good for everybody. And the fact that I don't need it doesn't mean that other people don't. And other people want to keep their hidden. So if they want to keep their things hidden, then the system ain't good, and I don't want to have a bar of it. Simple as that. And I am a technological idiot. I can just about play a CD a bit, and that's about my lot. But I'm having nothing to do, anything to do with computers and so on. It's fair game for smart-minded people who can deal with those things.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Bertie, and you're quite clear about your point of view, which is really good.
Yes.
And that's the whole point, And as Bertie said, he doesn't see any need for it, for him.
Yeah, I think going for my health record and that sort of a project, I think that they were jumping ahead of themselves.
Yep.
Medical information
should be a secure, closed network. That's my view.
Yeah, so they started playing the high-stakes game right from the get-go. I mean, way too early. Medical information is about as personal as information can get.
Certainly is. G'day, Mark.
G'day, guys. Listen, I was an opt-out based on the grounds that your previous two callers spoke about.
Yep.
But I'm just going off on a tangent, and I'm a 56-year-old who's giving serious consideration to going back to university to study cybersecurity. Because I'm telling all the kids, teenagers who are getting ready for university, that should be their area of interest because they will be employed for the rest of their working lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's an ever-growing and ever-evolving discipline too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Look, just a quick word to Mark about going into cybersecurity as a mature age student.
Good on him.
Absolutely good on him. And there is actually something that mature students can offer when it comes to cybersecurity. So this is something that became very clear with the National Missing Persons Hackathon that I took part in. The young ones, they're really fast and they got that good technical skill, but that life skill when it comes to the social engineering side of things and joining dots together and just understanding human behaviour, the people who've been on the planet a little bit longer have got a better handle on that sort of information.
What Ben's saying is you got a few kilometres on the clock and that gives you street smarts, Mark. The engine's been run in.
Yes, absolutely. So, go for it.
Guys, appreciate it.
Go for it,
thank
mate.
you.
And-
I reckon go for it too. And you're right, because you can know about. And something else that a lot of young people don't have, they don't have this. They don't have the natural inhibitions that our generation has to sharing information.
Yeah.
The current generations are so used to sharing so much information online that nobody has a restraint. Nobody has the off switch that says, yeah, actually, that's not smart.
Yeah.
G'day, Tan.
Hello, Tan.
I opt out from the record is because as an IT professional for 10 years, nothing is 100% secure in online, number one. Number two, there is no I think probably down the track, government is telling now they will not sell the record to the insurance company or some other purpose. There is no guarantee 10, 15 years later, there's another government comes in and they decided to sell the whole record.
Yep.
And third point, there is someone like quantum computing coming in probably next 2 to 3 years. They can generate 10,000 years of work in few days. So there is no guarantee somebody can hack it.
I think
exactly.
Tan identified as an IT professional.
Yes.
And it's funny, people like yourself, Tan is just identified as an IT professional, and other people in your profession I spoke with all say the same thing.
Yep.
One of you might be wrong, possibly two of you are wrong, but bearing in mind, I think I've spoken to about 15 of you and have all said the same thing without drawing breath.
Yes.
I'm not prepared to say 15 of you are wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that, Tan. Appreciate that. Alex.
Hello.
G'day, mate. How you doing? You in or out?
I stayed in, not for any particular reason, but what I was thinking about, I don't know if you've discussed this or not, but I wonder, I see a lot of doctors and professional people still using Windows XP, still using older systems. Could this be a security upgrade for a lot of places out there by using more of a national...
Well,
That's actually a really good question.
That is a good question. It doesn't matter what you're using it for. Windows XP, as long as it's connected to the internet, is a big security risk. So, as long as there's some sort of access to it, it's a target, I'm afraid. And same thing can be said for Windows 7 by the end of this year. That is also going to be a target as well. So if you're running out-of-date systems that are connected in some way with the network or the internet at large, you are asking for trouble.
Yeah. And I just wonder if this will be a security upgrade for some places, or it could be just because people might be worried about going to a national network, but a lot of information is on computers already.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them are on non-secure computers.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Mind you, they have an obligation upon them to keep the information secure.
Yep.
So if somebody, for example, could hack into your local doctor's surgery and gain your medical records, they would find themselves in all sorts of problems on all sorts of fronts. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that, Alex. Graham.
Yes, good evening, Chris and Ben. How are you?
Good, mate.
Very good.
Good. Hey, listen, I'd like to know how many politicians are on the system too. Whether they've, they put themselves in or taken themselves out. I'm one of these old blokes. I don't know but jack shit about, about computers and all. I know to get in there and send an email and all this sort of crap, but that's about it. Yeah. Other than that, my knowledge of IT and that, I want to count over 10, mate. I'll take me boots off. But the thing is, if these systems are so good and so how come people can still break into them? The government's still selling our information to whoever they like. Now, if they're in the system, how many of them are in it?
Well,
let us know how many of them are still in there, whether they've still got their stuff on there or not. But you'll find out, more likely, none of them are in it.
Maybe. Well, if they know anything about technology and information security, yeah, they wouldn't be in it. But, you know, going by the track record, I'd say that a good bulk of them would not have a very good grasp on technology and security.
It's a very good point, though, Graham. Thank you for
excellent point, yes.
One of the questions that comes up about this, of course, is the amount of information that may be on-sold.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the first instance, they've said, no, we won't do that. But Tan raised a very good point when he said, well, okay, don't think about now.
Yes.
Once you have the system, somebody down the track in the future might look at this and say, you know, this is a really good opportunity to make some money. Let's do it.
Yeah, but that'll never happen because they never change rules part of the way. Oh, hang on a sec. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I was going to say, I know that you're a very confident man. I know that you have faith in your fellow man, but can I say that's perhaps taking it a bit beyond the pale?
Yes.
At 92211 My Health Record, were you in or were you out? And what was your reason for being in or for opting out? There's no right or wrong. We're just interested to find out your thoughts in regards to this. Both Ben and I were out, and the reason, in one word, security.
You are our eyes. You are our ears. And we want to share what you know with the rest of Perth. Call Perth Live between 3 and 6 weekdays and give us your word on the street. And you could win a share of $20,000. Keep your eyes and ears open. Word on the street. Weekdays from 3 on Perth Live. Get to Maddington Hyundai for their $99 car service plus 20% off logbook services. MaddingtonHyundai.com.au. DL 14687.
Share the joy this Christmas at Harvey Norman. Come in store this weekend, say hi to Santa, and get a free 6x4 photo. Plus, buy a Santa photo pack from just $15, and you could win one of 8 P&O family cruises valued at $4,500. Conditions and permit numbers apply. Limit 1 free print per family. Check local store for appearance times. From our family to yours, a free photo with Santa. We will take your family photo with Santa for free this weekend at Harvey Norman.
Okay, you ready to go for take 1 of Microgenics vitamins?
Yep, I've got the script in front of me. Oh, Microgenics vitamins. I remember them.
Yep, they're back.
They have close to 50 vitamins in the range, tailored for every member of the family. Made with the highest quality ingredients, Microgenics delivers macro benefits.
Yes, that's correct. You ready for a take?
Oh, yes, right. Microgenics vitamins, exclusive to Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day. Always read the label, follow the directions for use.
Don't miss week 2 of the Tab Touch Masters this Saturday at Ascot Racecourse, where horseplay takes centre stage. It's the Stylish Ladies' Day, featuring the WA Fashions on the Field final and the $1 million Crown Perth Winterbottom Stakes. Purchase a $50 Masters Pass for your chance to win a new Nissan 370Z. Visit perthracing.com.au. Crown Perth Winterbottom Stakes Day, Saturday at Ascot. Horseplay the ladies' way.
For competitive pricing, great service and quality products, visit West Coast Office Equipment, providers of the latest smart office technology for printing, photocopying and scanning. They stock trusted brands like HP, for instance. Their trained technicians can help improve your office efficiency and save you money with their document solutions. This family-owned and operated business also offers same-day service and are conveniently located in Osborne Park. Google westcoast.net.au and get the best in office equipment.
Hi, Judy, you look well. Must be the aqua aerobics. Sounds like you've given your health a bit of a shake-up. What's made the difference?
It started with this IceAway Diabetic. A shake a day helps me boost my energy through the metabolisation of nutrients. If you're on the diabetes spectrum, IceAway Diabetic's nutritional support helps you maintain your health to feel your best.
Go to iceaway.com.au/diabetic to find out more or talk to your pharmacist or medical professional today. IceAway Diabetic. One good choice leads to another.
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Ben Aylett here from benaylett.com. That's a website. That is also where you'll find all of his contact information if you'd like to join us, 922 11882. One of the questions we're asking tonight relates to My Health Record. There's been an audit and basically it hasn't come up looking good, saying there are definitely some security issues and vulnerabilities there. And I'm just wondering, are you in or are you out? 922 11882. One of the questions we were asking is whether or not you can cancel a My Health Record. You can.
That's right. Yes, you can. You've got to go through the MyGov website.
Yep.
So you start there. And you can actually delete your health records through that way.
What it says in the short version, log into your My Health record through your MyGov account. Select the My Health record you want to cancel. This could be your own or someone else's if you are their authorised representative. Select the Profile and Settings tab, select Profile and navigate to the end of the page. Read the information, then click Cancel My Health record. Read and agree to the statements, then click Proceed to Cancel My Health record. Choose whether you'd like to receive a confirmation by email or SMS. Click Yes, cancel this My Health record, or you can change your mind and select No, take me back. Read the confirmation statement and print confirmation if you want to print a copy.
Yep.
Please note the record deletion process is not immediate. If you wish to re-register for a new My Health record, you must wait until the deletion process is complete.
Yeah.
Hi, Norman.
I've got an iPhone 6S and it's 3.5 years old. I wonder if it's time to upgrade.
What do you mean to get a new phone?
It's time to upgrade. I just wondered if it's time to upgrade.
Upgrade what? Just go and get a new phone?
What you're talking about? Upgrade to a new phone, Norman?
Yeah, upgrade to the.
Yeah, okay. Is the 6S still doing what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it's still doing what you want, then there's nothing wrong with hanging on to it. Only get rid of it when it's not doing... Okay, if it's feeling a bit slow, first of all, try to remove any apps and any other extra stuff on it. You've done that?
Yeah.
All right.
Just that the software updates aren't getting updated, and that's right, 3.5 years old.
Yeah, okay. If the software updates aren't coming through, I think we talked about this before, it's quite possible, because one of the callers came in very intelligently and said it's possible that you might have too many things on that phone and it just doesn't have the memory to hold the update files in order to update iOS. So, yeah, if you want to go to the latest version of iOS, which is recommended, it's probably best just to go and get a new phone.
There's an idea for you, Norm.
Still keep this phone.
No,
still keep the phone.
No, I'd probably get rid of it. If it's a 6S and you're having trouble upgrading to the latest version of iOS, I would just cut my losses, get rid of that phone, and you can get an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 10. They haven't stopped selling those, so you can still get those. They're still very, very good phones. They're still brand new and they still do the job.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Norman.
Yeah.
Something else that's popped up in the news I thought was quite interesting. The new Tesla Cybertruck.
Oh, yes.
I've got to say, this thing kind of looks like a Hummer on steroids.
Yep.
And apparently it ticks all sorts of boxes except for one. What's the box it doesn't tick?
It's not pretty.
Oh, no, it's not pretty.
It's not pretty at all.
It's designed to be a truck, mate.
Exactly. So a lot of people who are getting going out of their minds because this Cybertruck doesn't look very nice. There's no curves on this thing.
You wouldn't buy it because, wow, that's a really good-looking truck.
Why do we buy a truck? We buy a truck because it's
big and strong and carries stuff.
Exactly. And once it ticks those boxes and it does it cheaper and it does it and it goes faster than a Porsche and it pulls harder than an F-150, what more do you want out of a truck? Honestly.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's a truck doing what a truck does. It's all good.
Yeah.
But what else is its major issue?
Well,
and it comes with safety. It's okay for the passengers and the people in the truck.
Yeah.
However, they seem to be a little bit concerned as to what is going to happen to pedestrians who may get cleaned up by this truck. And I've got to tell you, it would be a bit like being run over with a Leopard tank.
Yeah, so this is something that's been raised just in the last few hours with the Australian authorities who look after our highways and pedestrian safety in particular.
Yes.
And they say they're probably not going to give this any sort of star rating, let alone allow it to be sold in the country because it's missing a few key things like wing mirrors, crumple zones. No crumple zones because the actual body itself is what they call the exoskeleton. So the frame is built around it.
Well, wouldn't that be also an issue for people within the cabin of the vehicle? Because aren't crumple zones designed so they also protect and take the impact as opposed to the shock being transferred through to the passenger? So what we're really saying is this would have a very, very hard time getting your mandatory 5-star rating.
Yeah, I would be... at first, I was a little thrown off by the look, but then I thought, hang on a sec, it's pretty cost-effective. It does all the things I'd want out of a truck. I'd probably be interested in getting it. But then again, yeah, I'm thinking this is probably not a very safe vehicle. And that's actually one of the things we do look for when it comes to making a vehicle purchase. So, look, nice try, Elon. The mad people are often the dreamers and the ones who do things differently and actually get stuff done.
Only problem you've got is I would imagine he's not going to take too well to that. He, generally speaking, is not too keen on people who are critical of what he does.
Look, I really want to see this work. I would absolutely love to see this work. So there could be ways that it could be tweaked to make it a little less brutal when it comes to collisions, and that's obviously got to be a factor of consideration.
Oh, of course it is.
We can't all run around in APCs.
And the other problem, mind you, no one had messed with you on the freeway.
Yeah, but you've never been tailgated by the guys in the four-wheel drives, really?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
This one would be even more intimidating.
That's right.
And the other thing is, think about the quantity of phone zombies around the place. It could end up being very ugly. My friend, we're out of time. As always, yours much appreciated.
It's always fun.
benaylett.com is a website. It's also where you'll find all of the information and plus some great stories too.
6PR Rumour File.